We are live, broadcasting only on onedealaway.com/live. My name is Nev. This is Money Matters. And today is, I don't know what today is. I should have done this. Today is Thursday. Holy mackerel. I thought it was Wednesday. I just lost a day somewhere in the shuffle. If you find it, will you please let me know? So today we have a special episode. You know, Thursdays typically we geek out on real estate. However, there was something magical, absolutely amazing that is happening within the world of crypto that I would be amiss to not talk about it today because it is so timely, it is so important. And if you're not in a world of crypto all the time, not following it, you likely will miss it. And the last thing I want to do is for you to miss out on a great opportunity and some amazing news. So, slight change of plans. Please forgive me. I hope I'm forgiven because I'm just looking for ways of how can we all make money, preserve what we got, and hopefully blow it up out of the water with some uncorrelated gains that are out of this world. So what in the world am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Bitcoin. That's right. So we're going to be focusing a lot on Bitcoin and the fact that it's been pumping like crazy over the last couple of days. As you know, it was a snooze market for forever. It was sitting there. It would kind of come up, kind of come down, not much going on. But the market woke up. It's woke like everybody else around this world. And we're going to be talking directly about what's going on, where the prices are, what can we expect in the future, how far can the prices actually go in a short term, long term. Long term, it depends on your viewpoint. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to take a very brief moment in time look. And of course, big truck comes in when the window is open. And I'm trying to do this live. Sorry about that. But we got it fixed. Hopefully you can't hear it and you're doing well. So we're going to be discussing and looking at the traditional markets, where they are, what's going on with them. Really this show is going to be packed really about money, about digital currencies, and preparing you for where we are, what's coming, and what's coming next. Like, what do we do next with this whole thing? I do want to welcome everybody watching this live on onedealaway.com/live. If you're here, sign in, say hello. We're going to do Q&A at the end of the show as always. If you're watching this elsewhere, like YouTube or Facebook or wherever else you might find this video, if you can, do me a huge favor. Smash the like button right now if you're enjoying these topics, if you're enjoying the show. Share with others. And if there's a way to subscribe and get notified when the shows show up, please do so, because these shows are going to be, they're very, very important of what we're discussing. And, you'll learn a ton of stuff following the channel, going through the things. And really, the biggest goal at the end of the day is for us to be able to learn what in the world is going on, how do things operate, and how do I position myself into the stuff. And guess what? The best part of it all, it's free. You don't have to pay a dime. Let's do this. Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. All right, y'all. Let's go in and take a look at what in the world am I looking at that is getting me so excited. I was so excited that I actually have done something I haven't done in for forever. I shared an Instagram picture of the darn thing yesterday morning, and those that paid attention, well, they made money. Those that didn't, well, they didn't make much of anything. And those that are in traditional markets likely have lost some money. I will explain, but let's take a look at what's going on here. Well, here we are in the top 100 coins by market capitalization. As you can see, when I scroll down, we see a sea of green. Green. There are some reds, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the reds. But you will see on the on the top currencies, Bitcoin is sitting at $12,892.23. Thank you very much, with the gains of 6.2% over the course of 24 hours and 13.8% over the course of 1 week. ETH is finally broken over 400. Congrats for everybody in the ETH universe. This is very exciting. It has pumped 6.7% in 24 hours, 7% in 7 days, and 2.3% in the last hour. What this lets me know in looking at this stuff and comparing the two, I'm not quite sure what just happened. Hold on. Come back. Come back. All right, there we go. So looking at the two, what I see is that ETH has a really strong probability and possibility that it's going to pump even stronger in order to catch up. We've been talking about the fact that both are highly underpriced, and the important piece to keep in mind is that, you know, in order for them to price correctly, it means the prices have to go up quite a bit. And Bitcoin has been an amazing story. As you can see, the pump has been out of this world phenomenal. Now, before we go into the chart to take a look into this stuff, I do want to look at the traditional markets and why I'm saying people are losing money. So here we are. This is S&P 500. This is basically what has happened yesterday. As you can see, it went up, it went down. Overall, we are in a down market for the last week. Not for the month, right? But this is where it was a high, and since then you can see right here that we have come down quite a bit. Not, you know, ton, but we have definitely come down since the mid-October or early October highs. Dow Jones is also down for the day, down for the week, and over the course of a month, not quite down, but it is on a downward slope trend. And I believe that this is going to continue happening as we are entering the uncertainty of elections and stimuli and whatever else that is not quite coming. Nasdaq, you saw that it was down for a day, down for a week, and it's still up for a month. Again, there's this key sort of top piece that we've just seen on October 12th that is correlating with all of the other things, and we are on a slope downward. And this is actually, you know, I would argue more dangerous, the way that the slope is forming here, more dangerous than what we saw in March when we just went off the cliff. Because when we go off the cliff, people get petrified, they sell, there's a great buying opportunity, and we go typically back on up. However, when we see this sort of slow, boring decline, people don't pay as much attention to it. It's down only, you know, 0.28%. It's down only 0.17%. It's down only 0.5%. It's down only 1%. And so we look at this stuff and it's not a lot, right? But it adds up. That's part of the problem. That's kind of like the same thing with spending our money, for example, right? You go to the store and you were like, you know, it's only $1. Like, am I really going to lose that much spending a dollar on this thing? Nah, I might as well put it in a basket. Okay, it's only $10. I mean, look, it's the pair of jeans. I know I don't need them, but it's only $10. So let me buy that in. Oh, look at this shirt. I've always wanted a black shirt. Oh, it's only $15. I mean, you know, typically these shirts are $30. Let me put it in. And then you get to the cash register and you were like $200 some dollars. And you're like, wait a minute, like what happened, right? Well, it adds up. And it's the same thing here. It adds up or it adds down, depending on how you want to look at it. And now let's take a look at the futures. As you know, the futures market, while not necessarily predicting exactly what's going to happen during the regular trading piece, it does sort of let us know where we think we might open. And as you can see, S&P futures, Dow futures, and Nasdaq futures are down as well. Nothing too crazy, nothing too sharp, but they're definitely down in the, you know, on the futures piece, which lets me know that even those that are a bit more sophisticated, that have an ability to trade after hours, that's not like your typical regular Robinhood user, right? That it's like during the daytime clicking on stuff. These are the folks that potentially have some substantial amount of money that are going into these pre-markets, post-markets, dealing with the futures, and you know, they're not feeling all that hot. When we look at the Russell 2000, Russell actually turned slightly up, as you can see it right over here. Crude oil is up. Gold is actually down, but it is holding into 1900s. Silver is down. Euro USD is down. 10-year bond actually went up. VIX is down, dollar back down. So as you can see, not much of anything happening except with Bitcoin and crypto. And if you're watching things like Yahoo Finance and watching things, I mean, you can see they don't talk about Bitcoin, they don't talk about cryptocurrencies. They are basically, AT&T and this stock and that stock. And in my humble opinion, stocks are done. But that's just me. That's just me. They are looking at all of these different things of, what's going on. And of course, we will take a look at what is happening in the real estate market tomorrow. I promise you that, because I want to see what's going on. So if I want to see it, I will share it with you. And we're going to take a look at it together. Now, what is going on with the Bitcoin and stuff, and what is happening? So I did promise that I was going to share a chart with you. So let's take a look on this thing. Let me see if I can make this slightly bigger. If it makes any difference, if we make it slightly bigger. And here it is. Here's kind of what's going on. Here is that high that you will hear me talk about, and that we'll read together in these reports, of $13,243. Now, yesterday, right around here-ish, is where I actually had met with a student of mine, and during this giant bull rally, we've actually were live on a call looking at some stuff and talking about technical analysis and trading and that kind of stuff, and we're geeking out with some of the charts. And that's the time where I actually started to turn down, and we saw it live, and that was the part of the conversation that we had. But what had happened is basically, Bitcoin. Here's the part that I always keep telling folks: when you see something that has already pumped before, right, and it kind of goes sideways, that typically means that it's it's almost like storing energy for a big explosive move. And that big explosive move, if it has bullish movements with it, where a lot of people believe in it, a lot of people are buying it, is typically going to go on up. There are certain other analysis that you can use for sure to see which way it goes, but that's what typically happens, and that's exactly what happened here with Bitcoin. So it pumped really nicely. I mean, look how long that thing has been sitting here for nearly 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was just sitting there going sideways. When I see that, I get very excited. When it pumps, I'm like, okay, this is really cool, but I'm not as excited because I'm not buying over here. I'm buying over here, right? I'm buying over here. So what we can see, let's take a look at the 90 days. 90 days is basically, we'll have a 3-month period, and you will see some very distinct patterns that I think are going to be very helpful as we're continuing in this bull market. How high can this go? That was the question that my student asked me yesterday, and I said, I don't know. Nobody knows. Crystal ball broke years ago, but when I've done the analysis quite a few months back, and I was looking at that stuff, I wasn't necessarily thinking of all of the institutional investors kind of coming in, but I was looking at it, and I'm like, in this bull run, I can see, based off of the historical, based off of the analysis, all of those different things, without accounting for institutional investors, I was pricing that in this bull market, we could see a price of about $87,000 plus minus per one Bitcoin. Right now that I'm seeing some of these offices coming in, that there's this giant, financial hot mess coming in, all of that stuff, I could see that when it goes into the hundreds, not just 100, but hundreds of thousands of dollars per Bitcoin. Will it come back down from there? Yes. Will we see it back at these levels? Probably not. Again, not a financial advice. I have no clue what's going to happen, y'all. So don't rely on me. Do your own analysis. But here are some of the patterns that we see. It pumps, then it goes sideways and potentially dumps a little bit. Then it kind of goes sideways, but still on the upward trend, and then it pumps again. So what do I expect now? Well, I expect that it's going to maybe potentially go a little bit of sideways and stuff, because that would be really healthy. If it shoots right back on up to like 20,000 over the next couple of days, while kind of exciting and many people will jump into it, it's also very scary because the probability of it going down is that much higher. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. See here, when you zoom out, you can actually see things much easier. You see, kind of, it went up, sideways, sideways, then it kind of went down a little bit, right? And sometimes the downward movement can happen because something happens in the economy, something happens within the market, something happens within an exchange. So there are different reasons why it could potentially dump. It went sideways again, and it did a beautiful, nice pump. Now, one of the things to also keep in mind is that in the bull markets, it is not unusual for us to see, these giant, big old dumps happening. So let's go come over here in last bull market of 2017, 2016, and stuff. So let's go in and kind of take a look at this. Where are we now? So this is, early, 16, 17. So you can kind of see we went from 1,000. It was kind of going up. We hit 3,000. It went back down to 2,000 level before it went back up to 5,000. So when you lose $1,000, right? 1,000 over 3,000, that's a 30% drop. So don't be surprised to see some of these big drops. But if you had sold over here, right, you would have missed out on this big rally, right? And then if you had, waited for this big rally, but then sold out, you would have missed. So this is the rally that we kind of talked about. You would have missed on this giant rally. So don't get discouraged easily, and do expect that we are going to see, and here it is, all of 2020. Don't be discouraged, and expect that you're going to see these major sort of push on down, drop down, and those, in my humble opinion, again, not a financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is highly risky. Don't do what I'm telling you. I'm just sharing what I am doing over here. When I see this big old thing, and I'm like, okay, that's a buying opportunity. So I buy it, and then I hold, and then I accumulate, and then when it does a giant pump, I don't do it. I kind of wait for it to slow down, then I sort of buy it. And if you want to get into the trading stuff, of course, you do know about Trading View. And if you go into the Trading View, if you don't know anything about it, if you go into the Trading View, as you can see, now they're even trending the election polls. This is crazy. I didn't even know that. But we can go in and take a look at, BTC USD. There we go. And you click on that, and you can take a look at the chart. And right over there, you can actually get, there are folks that create ideas, right? So you can read news about it. You can get the ideas from it. It gives you all kinds of things. And, you can go in and, of course, open a few chart and, go out there and draw and do the analysis and watch what folks are doing when it comes to analysis, because I think it's very cool. Would I necessarily follow one particular person? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how good they are, how much I trust them. But I would use it to kind of learn different ways of opinions, right? Like, what are folks saying? Now, Bitcoin hits a new record with these 7 countries. So there are 7 countries that they have all new time high in their local currencies. So in US, we have hit a new local top, right, of 2020. This is the highest piece of kind of like the 2020. Here we go. But it's the all-time high for their local currencies. Brazil, Turkey, Argentina, Sudan, Angola, Venezuela, and misspelled over here, but that's okay. Oh, no. Zambia, and soon they're expecting that Russia and Colombia and many other fiat currencies will follow. Bitcoin's weekly gain stood over 15% overnight on Wednesday as BTC USD reached 13,200 level before rising to press time level of 12.8, and now it's 12.9, going back up into 13,000s. The last time Bitcoin traded around 13,000, and even when it hits its all-time highs of 2,000 in late 2017, the economic picture looked very, very different. Very different. In Brazil, for example, where bond BTC now buys more reals than ever before, savers have seen their value of their currency decline by 28% against the US dollar in a single year. US is having its own battle. Bitcoin's inverse correlation to the US dollar currency, and might I add, decoupling from the stocks, at least that's what it appears right now, remained in focus as its bull run took hold. DXY, which is measuring the US strength against the basket of currencies, declined during the October press time level of 92.72, coinciding with fresh strength in BTC. Impact of the upcoming U.S. election may produce further USD volatility, as well as volatility, I would argue, in every single market. If the DXY closes below the structure of the 92.5 zone, this would support any inflation assets like commodity, gold, as well as growth stocks, and might I add, real estate as well. So, it's kind of what we can expect. I know a lot of people are talking about inflation. I don't see inflation. One more time, I'm going to say it publicly on the channel. I don't see inflation in a short term. We are in a deflation cycle, and major things will have to happen for us to get out of the deflation cycle into the inflation cycle. But I do think it's possible that it's going to hit. So right now we're playing on the D side of the thing. Then we're going to play on the I side of the thing. Bitcoin price surpasses 13K shortly after PayPal's major crypto announcement. That's right. So there was a couple of things that have happened, right? We have had the IMF kind of go in and talk about the digitalization of the stuff, setting up the new level of what's going to happen with the financial picture, financial industry as a whole, setting it up, in my humble opinion, to the digitalization of the world that I have been talking about for years, maybe not as publicly as this, recording it online, but I have been talking about it. Then we kind of have that, right? We have all of this like hot mess thing happening, right? We have the election hot mess thing happening. We have economic and health and all this stuff coming together. And then the IMF is saying, we are going to basically rehaul financial system completely, while of course they're also changing us from LIBOR to SOFR and all of that hot mess. And then, boom, another layer tops on. PayPal says we are entering cryptocurrency, which we knew that was happening. If you've been watching the channel and following it for a while, you knew that this was coming. This was not a shock nor surprise to you. That came in, price started to shoot up, and the rest is history, as they say. So let's sorry, I got excited. Let's read about it. Bitcoin surged past 13,000 shortly after breaking its previous resistance level of 12,000 the day before. This is a new high in 2020. Increased around 11% as other altcoins also managed to climb higher. For example, LTC, Litecoin, managed to see 13% increase. Bitcoin Cash seen more than 7%. And Ethereum is starting to catch up, finally going over 400. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will hold up. Actually, matter of fact, if it drops down to like 90, I'd still like to buy more. So, hey, if you can do me a favor, crash it a little bit, that could actually really help Nev out. And then let it go to the moon. Just kidding. Let's not crash it. Soon after PayPal announced that it would let its customers use cryptocurrencies is when everything started to shoot on up. PayPal customers can now purchase items and receive payments as goods and services using cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. But not so fast. It appears we're not quite there yet. Right now, you can only purchase it, and then it's going to roll out some of the other stuff, as we'll see from the other news reports. So stay tuned for that. The payment company has a reach of over 340 million accounts worldwide, 26 million merchants on the network, and the PayPal shares also jumped 5.5%. This is huge. So this is helping them, but it's also helping crypto. And this is where we are seeing this trend kind of happen. When a publicly traded company enters the crypto market, not only does it help with adoption, not only does it help potentially with the price kind of moving on up ever so slightly or not, depending on how they buy and what ends up happening in the type of company they're in, but we're also seeing that their stock price goes up. Well, if you are, let's put yourself into the world of you are the business owner, right, of a publicly traded company. Maybe you're not the owner, right, but you're the CEO. And you're looking at that and you're going, man, things are crashing. I'm having a hard time with our stock. We've been doing buyback. We've been doing all of this stuff. And I'm watching all of these other companies, put a small amount of Bitcoin, relatively speaking to their size, money into the Bitcoin, and their stock goes up a lot. And people get crazy. So maybe we should consider buying just a little bit. 1%, 5%, 10%, it doesn't matter. Even if we lose it, it's okay. But if it pumps up, we win. But above all else, our stock goes up, and that's really, really good. So as folks start connecting the dots and figuring out the ways, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, Bitcoin is going to go to the moon. So when I was talking about that $87,000 potential sort of like high for the new bull market that we are currently in and under, that I think is going to last not just for 2020. I'm thinking it's going to last. It has a very good potential to last into 21, 22, and maybe even 23. So I think we have a very long time period for it. Again, I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what the future looks like, because if I did, I would have skipped potentially 2020, or I would have prepared a little bit differently. Okay, let's just put it that way. But anyways, or I would have come to warn everybody. I don't know. I would have done something if I knew it. Nonetheless, so that's kind of where I see the whole thing happening. And so with these large amounts of money kind of jumping in, there is a high probability that the price is going to keep on pumping like crazy. Now, here we go. We have a CEO of Galaxy Investment Partners, Mike Novogratz, that was basically talking about that PayPal news is the biggest news of the year in crypto. All banks will now be on race to service crypto. We have crossed the Rubicon, people. Exciting day. And I absolutely agree. This is a game changer. Not only are the banks going to start jumping in and saying, oh my gosh, like we got to know about this stuff, we got to start servicing it, but they're also issuing the licenses, right? We saw with Kraken kind of issuing the license. Now we're seeing PayPal kind of coming in as one of the largest payers. Square has kind of been doing it within it with the Cash App and that kind of stuff. I think Square is going to allow for processing of it, potentially issuing, there are credit cards, debit cards now that are issued in a backbone of the crypto, so you never even have to like get your crypto out into the fiat. You literally can swipe and use it. Now you don't have to do that. You can actually just use PayPal. Well, you can't do it right now, but you will in a very, very, very near future. This is very, very exciting day. It appears that PayPal's development with cryptocurrency has triggered the biggest moves in the cryptocurrency market. BTC also witnessed the largest total exchange outflow of the cryptocurrency on October 18, and this was a clear bullish indicator. PayPal previously pulled out of the Libra Association, and the reason they were saying that, they were like, there's a lot of scrutiny and stuff, because Libra was basically, can I say pissing off? A lot of people, a lot of very, very important people, and so a lot of scrutiny came with that. Now, PayPal might issue its own cryptocurrency soon. This is coming from CoinShare Executive. So they might be moving into issuing its own cryptocurrency after officially entering the industry. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 6 to 12 months, so now we're looking at what? May, right? April, May, June, to like November of 21, we see PayPal launching its own digital currency similar to digital dollar that we see in many payment companies. PayPal CEO Dan Schulman stated that PayPal is developing a product that is not necessarily competitive with Libra. On October 21, PayPal officially announced that the company will introduce the ability to buy, hold, and sell a number of cryptos, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin directly with the PayPal wallet. With the new feature, PayPal customers will be able to use their crypto shop in any of the PayPal's 26 million merchants around the globe starting in early 21. So you can't do it quite yet. That is the piece that you need to keep in mind, but you will be able to do it. Now, not everybody is excited about what's going on with PayPal and what they're doing. So it has a good side and the bad side, and I think we need to look at both ends of the spectrum. So let's take a look at some of the criticism to PayPal and what they're doing. So they will not give users direct custody over their funds to access their private keys. That's many exchanges do that stuff, so this is nothing new. But I think it is important for you to understand that and know it, that when you do it through PayPal, you don't hold your keys. And as they say, it's not your vault, not your gold. In crypto world, they say not your keys, not your crypto. PayPal's limitation extend far beyond those seen on most exchanges, however. Users will not be able to send cryptocurrency via PayPal or use cryptocurrency to pay for purchases. Investors will not be able to withdraw their cryptocurrencies to their own wallet, nor will they be able to deposit cryptocurrency into their accounts. at launch, PayPal's cryptocurrency service will only be useful for speculative investors, that is, investors who want to buy cryptocurrencies and then sell it at a later date. So you definitely want to be very, very careful going into this stuff, because right now all you can do is buy. That's it, but you don't even own it, right? Like it's, well, you do, but you don't. You do sort of like when I buy Apple stock through my IRA mutual fund account. I don't really hold that stock. I am a beneficiary owner of the stock. So that's kind of similar thing what's happening with PayPal and Bitcoin, and you need to know that stuff, right? And so that's part that you need to understand. Now, at some point, when it starts rolling out the whole that you can buy it and transfer and do all of that stuff, then it makes sense. For right now, I don't know that it does, but again, I'm not here to recommend you to do something, don't do something. Personally, I wouldn't use PayPal to buy it. I'm just gonna put it there, right? It's out there. Industry leaders have criticized PayPal's plans. Decentralization advocates have used the phrase, not your keys, not your coins, to describe PayPal's stance, warning potential buyers of the power that PayPal wields over user funds. However, on the plus side of the things, some argue that the company's limitations are worthwhile, given that it is a household name with over 350 million users, and it puts a company in the position to promote Bitcoin to those that have never used it before. And I agree with that stuff. The part of the challenge is that the folks don't really have the full freedom. But I also want to acknowledge that for many folks, being fully responsible for your money, right, for your keys and everything else, is a big threshold, is a big scary thing. And so sometimes having the companies that were sort of hodl on your behalf, right, can be a good thing. And I think it's a great thing for adoption, because it's a bit more comfortable, right? And I can kind of go in and they're handling that stuff, but I still do other pieces of it. At some point people might transfer. The part that I don't like is that they don't give people an option to transfer into their wallets should they choose to. So I like kind of having an ability where they are the responsible party holding somebody, but I do also like the ability to transfer into my own wallets and do it. And of course, right now you can't transfer, you can't do anything. Like, the only thing you can do is just basically buy and then allow for PayPal to hold your crypto. So how far can the prices go for Bitcoin? Like, where are we with this stuff? So let's take a look at this stuff. So there's a graph which we're going to be referring to quite a bit and then reading together. So let's see. The 13,890 level above of the most recent resistance kind of place, we have a major resistance zone, which is the shaded reds area that hasn't been closed above since January 15th, 2018. And so that's this red zone right over here that they're talking about. And this is kind of where we are right now. Above this area, we also have the upper resistance line of broadening wedge pattern the Bitcoin price has been tracking inside since April 27, 2020. This currently sits at around 14,000 level, right? So this is the yellow line that right here, the channel. You can kind of see how it's widening up, right? Hold on, where the camera at, right? So it's widening it up, and you can clearly see it of what's going on over here. So then we have a couple of different resistance level. Of course, we also have psychological resistance level at 14,000, right? Because round numbers are very, very psychologically important. From there, the most obvious daily resistance above are 14,600, 15,400, and 15,800 levels before we get to the 0.786 Fibonacci level at 16,150. So we do have ways to go, clearly, but we're definitely pumping up. Potential supports, we have the key SR zone, green shaded area between 11,950 and 12,300, which should create some buying pressure. So here it is, the green zone. Where's the green zone? Right over here is the green zone. You can see it clearly right over there. So that's the green zone, right? And so what that basically means is that, if it drops down to 12.3 or 11.9, people are going to be buying, potentially pushing the price back on up. Underneath of the 11.9, we do have 11.4, the daily 50 EMA, which is the blue line, right? The blue line right over here, you can see it. So that's the moving average, right? At approximately $11,170. And of course, that is moving. As the prices are moving, that EMA is going to keep on moving. And the support line of the broadening wedge pattern at around 10,900 area. And this is that yellow piece that it's kind of keeping on the downside. So this is the upside right over here. This is the downside, and the downside is at that 10.9, right? So that's kind of what they're saying. Now, it's going to, when it drops, these are the potential places where folks are going to be buying, pushing it on up. And I do think that people will be doing it because, like I know I would do it. If we hit the 10,000 level, I'd buy even more than usual. Bitcoin now dangerously close to breaking into overbought region on the weekly RSI for the first time since July 2019. It's possible that we could see a sharp decline as trading bots are triggered by the indicator before a new leg of the upgrade begins. And here is the RSI kind of coming in. So if it hits this level over here, right, it might hit it. If it hits it, over here. So that's kind of what they're tracking. And the RSI is going to change depending on the candles that you're looking in. And if you don't know what the candles are, no investor left behind. Hold on. Let's see. So you have, let's see, you have here, there's some sort of chart, right over here. And let's kind of come in. And then, you have a candle, right? And a candle, right? And a candle, right? And then you have maybe a candle. So this is what the candles are. So when you're looking at, and maybe, we do this, I don't know. Now it's really starting to look like a real deal, right? Right? Maybe something like that. I don't know. So that's what the candles basically look like. And then on top of that, you get something like the, okay, it doesn't go that far. But anyways, hold on. Oh no. Anyways, that's why basically candles are. It's those ticks on up or down that it happens. So those you can watch those on like daily basis, hourly basis, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. So typically traders, they will use 15 minutes, maybe a little bit faster if they can keep up with it. Bots can definitely keep up with something faster. I've seen on the trading view, you can go to 1 second. I mean, good luck trading that. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. I don't know what to do. So, so anyways, that's kind of, and you'll see things will change as the timing changes. And if you go around to the trading view and play around with the whole thing, which I suggest for folks to do, you don't even have to trade, but play around with it just to understand what it looks like. Go and do it. You will be amazed how much you will learn just playing around on a free service. Just like you might be amazed of how much you're learning on a free channel that is delivering the brand news to you with some, sprinkled education here and there. And of course, maybe a really opinionated dude. I don't know. You let me know how you feel. Hey, hit the comments. Let me know. And this might be a time also to remind you, smash the like button if you haven't. A thumbs up is always nice to receive. It lets me know I'm on the right track. And what it also does, it helps me help more people. And so you could be part of the movement to help more people, and people will thank you. Maybe. I don't know. Now, let's switch a little bit into the stuff, because not only is it cool of what's going on with Bitcoin, but I think it's also cool what's happening. I've been telling you about the CBDCs, right? The central bank digital currencies that they're rolling out. And we have some news coming out of Austria. Raiffeisen Bank bringing blockchain interoperability to its stablecoin project. What? Austria's headquartered Raiffeisen Bank International (RBI) is turning to technology that will allow its tokenized fiat currency to connect to multiple blockchain. Bank's RBI coin integrated with Panto's blockchain interoperability tool from Vienna-based cryptocurrency exchange Bitpanda. RBI coin is a tokenized version of their national currency, and the bank partnered with Polish-British fintech firm Billion to use its distributed ledger technology for the e-money solution. Bitpanda said Pantos comes as the result of over 2.5-year research with the Technical University of Vienna, and is designed to allow token projects to avoid being restricted to any one blockchain. Raiffeisen will deploy the tech as a proof of concept trial initially, allowing the bank industry to become technologically agnostic, basically saying, we don't care what's going to happen, we're going to live no matter what. And I want you to be the same. I want you to be tech and asset agnostic. Whatever moves, especially on up, we want to go in it. If it go and can make us money and protect us, why not embrace it? That's just at least how I feel about the whole thing. Technology plays an integral role in making the tokenization of asset a reality, and more extensive, a flexible use cases for banking customers. But that's not all. When we jump across the pond and a continent and another pond, or maybe we just cross the continent and go to Asia, we do see that Hong Kong is now basically saying, wait a minute, hey China, hello, can we play along with your stuff? Because we really, really want to. Hong Kong government is considering collaborating with the mainland Chinese authorities on the country's central bank digital currency CBDC project. Hong Kong is most interested in wholesale and cross-border digital currency use cases. A 1.5 million giveaway dollar of the yuan currency was held in the city of Shenzhen, bordering the special administrative region of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is considered a global offshore renminbi business hub. Therefore, it would be an ideal destination for releasing trials for the digital yuan in the city to basically see how does this thing work when we're dealing with the cross-country stuff. So they're testing right now. China is testing right now by giving money to the people to see what's going on. We've talked about it on this channel before. If you haven't seen it, you definitely want to go into the archives, located only on YouTube, and you want to go into the Money Matters show, and you want to look into the money section of the whole thing. Hong Kong is considered as a global offshore renminbi business hub. We just talked about that, Nav. Thank you very much. Hong Kong is researched use cases for central banking digital currency since 2017, and their monetary authority, HKMA, has partnered with the Bank of Thailand for a joint study looking into the trials of cross-border trade payment by banks. If the digital currency electronic payment being developed by the People's Bank of China can be applied to cross-boundary payment, it would further promote the mutual connectivity between the mainland, including the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area, and Hong Kong. The government and the authority will continue to maintain communication and explore the possibility of collaboration with the People's Bank of China. Seize the opportunities from the development is what they want to do, and Chinese authorities have previously handpicked the Greater Bay Area, which Hong Kong is a part of, to test out the Chinese CBDC. So this is going to be very, very important and exciting as they actually not just test within their country, but start broadening abroad, I guess would be a correct one, because here's the thing. China does want to kind of get into the whole thing where everybody is using the yuan. Why wouldn't they? Because then they become a reserve currency. And as you know, IMF is calling for a revamp of the whole thing. US is like, I don't want to, man. I don't know how I feel about it, because we are right now in United States the reserve currency. So why would you want to change? The problem is that the lack of change and of foresight of all of the smart people in the room that are afraid as opposed to creative, the fear of innovation is what's going to kill them. It killed Kodak, it killed Best Buy, sorry, not Best Buy is still alive, Blockbuster, it killed so many different companies. When you fail to innovate, when you fail to grow, you die. It's simple as that, and that is why we're learning here every day, because we don't want to die. We don't want to die. And finally, we want to talk about one of the interesting things, which is the Binance CEO believes that central bank digital currencies could pose a threat to Bitcoin. And what he's basically saying is that they could potentially pose a threat to it, but not in a way of like stopping in or pushing or that kind of stuff. Here's basically the only way that he thinks, and I kind of have an agreement with it, is that if there's a government pushing another cryptocurrency that is more open, more free, has less restriction than Bitcoin, is faster and cheaper to use, then and only then could it threaten Bitcoin. But that is good for the industry because something better replaces Bitcoin, and that's awesome. However, I have a hard time seeing that any government would want to create something that is more open, more free, less restrictive than Bitcoin, and that it's faster and cheaper. I have serious doubt that they will do that stuff, which lets me believe that more likely than not, CBDCs will only push Bitcoin higher. So that wraps up the show. You let me know what you think. Let me know what you believe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification, whatever thing you find on the site that you're watching this. Hit the like button, forward it on to the people, and join us tomorrow live at 7 a.m. where we're going to go and basically geek out on real estate. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow only if you sign up and show up. Until then, stay forever money blessed, and do remember, you are only one deal away